Welcome back to Star Trek Online, everybody. I am your host, the Housecode Gamer. Today, we're taking a look at the Sovereign class. Now, obviously, this version of the ship has the mirror look. There's a reason for this. It is the legendary Sovereign class, which has every Sovereign class skin in the game, including the Mirror Sovereign, which was basically a Star Cruiser given the Sovereign skin. And while the yellow is a little bit tacky, I'm kind of fond of it. After all, I liked having my hands on... I thought that one was going to hit me. Anyway. I like this design. I like the Sovereign. The ultimate version of the anti-Borg design. Now, as you may be aware from my Defiant rant a couple of days ago, the Defiant is overgunned, overpowered, and had its issues from the start. The Prometheus, which will be featured in a later vid, also had its problems. Automation and all that. Which is why it didn't even see battle with the Borg during First Contact. That and somebody screwed up with the registry. More on that in the actual Prometheus vid. The Sovereign was the conventional yet advanced approach. After all, look at the design. Does it look particularly odd to you? Any odd additions? No? Good, that's because this is the conventional option. This was the, if it works, if it ain't broke, don't fix it approach. The approach of, well, if it works, we're going to use it. After refining it, of course. And of course, what do you come up with? A design that is flattened out, presenting less of a frontal target. Compared to the Galaxy, which is basically just a bullseye in space. She may be longer than a Galaxy, but she actually has less mass. While she has more advanced technology than the Galaxy, let's be honest, this ship is built to kill Borg. And the Enterprise E did that job well. I will be doing a Generations rant in a few months, featuring ships from those movies. Maybe I'll ask somebody for help with that. After all, a Klingon ship firing on a D on a Galaxy? I can always recreate that fight. Anyway. There are a lot of variations of the Sovereign. It is probably one of the most common redesigns in STO. First, you have the Tier 5 version. You can only get this version from Tier 5 up. Tier 5? You get the incredibly ugly Regent class. I think. I'm not entirely sure of the name, which is why I'm looking through the C-Store at the moment. The so-called Chicken Pan, which, fittingly or not, is based off the original Enterprise E design from First Contact. John Eves had a bit of fun with that. I'm not exactly a fan of this design, I prefer the finalized version. There's a Tier 6 version as well. Now, where is it?
The ship is under attack.
Archon, I think. Archon. such a pain looking for these ships. There it is. Guess I was looking in the wrong place. The Archon. You can probably guess where my problems with this ship start. It has nacelle cancer. Those nacelles are way too big. They look bulbous and... ugh. Not to mention the engineering section. That dish is just way too big. It's kind of counterproductive compared to the tiny diameter engine nacelles that you just probably aren't going to get a good shot at. And there is, of course, another variant. Originally, this vessel was only available as a WizKids promotion. The Command Assault Cruiser. The Vizier class. I featured this early on, prior to the introduction of the Legendaries. Now, the Vizier is just a recolored Sovereign based on the WizKids tabletop set. I'm not a fan of the redesign of the recoloring, so I'll stick to my original Sovereign. At any rate, the Legendary has every single console. It also has a bonus. It's a Miracle Worker vessel, which means you can put one of the Universal consoles in there if you don't want, or an extra tactical console if you're not a fan of, well, the set. But why wouldn't you? You have the ability to Battle Cloak, which I believe was featured in one of the Destiny series novels.
Warning, ship is under attack.
That was close. It also has an incremental phase shift device, which essentially makes you intangible and invincible. Kinda like the USS Pegasus. Let's not be reminded of that. And of course, Metreon gas. You have a Metreon gas torpedo, which you get from the Command Sovereign, and the Metreon gas plasma venting console from the Tier 5 variant. So if you want to recreate the conditions of battle in Insurrection, and who hasn't on occasion, you can do that. Of course, the ship is designed to fight. I mean, just look at the amount of tactical consoles it has. This ship is designed to endure, and it is designed to kill. And it does it very well. Probably even better than the Defiant. And while we didn't see the Sovereign in DS9, I presume that was because nobody wanted to see the Enterprise outside of the movies. Would I recommend you get your hands on this ship? Get the Legendary. Not only is the Legendary better than the Standard 2, you get the entire set from the start. But if you want to get your hands on the Intel and Command versions, go nuts. Housecoat Gaming, signing off.